Senator Binta Masigarba is on the program with me tonight. She's a Media and Publicity Secretary of Northern Bridge Builders Forum, one of the key Northern groups that have pledged their support for President Bola Tinubu in 2027. And according to her, their support is based on perceived developmental strides by the Tinubu administration, particularly in Northern region. Senator, thanks a lot for staying with us on the program tonight.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Right. So you've said a lot tonight and very convincing words, but you know, there are criticisms about President Tinubu's policies. Poor Nigerians are not happy about the high cost of living. Yes, they now understand the necessity behind the removal of fuel subsidy, but things are more expensive and salaries have not been increased. How does the forum reconcile these criticisms with its support?
Salaries have been increased. If you looked at it, where they said the salary is supposed to be about 70,000 or minimum of 70,000, of which obviously I strongly believe that the federal government has done that, except maybe the state haven't done that.
And also private sector.
The removal of subsidy, the removal of subsidy, whether we like it or not, it has helped tremendously in some infrastructural development. Unfortunately, it will pay $10 billion from the debt hanging on the neck of Nigeria down the drain. And even for government that has saved money, when such a thing, I mean, the issue of the fuel subsidy, which every Nigerian is crying about. But it now shows that obviously we are still patient enough to see what is happening. And very soon, if you even look at how do I put it? The inflation rate is coming down from 24% now is going down to almost about 22 or 23%. It's May. I think the last is about 23.3% from 24.7% thereabout, if I can get it where. So it shows that it's coming down. Like I said, Ma, whether you want to believe it, reform doesn't come easy. The thing is that what happened to the economy? Nigeria has been basically on a mono-economic status. We only believe in our oil. Now everybody is now changing direction from oil to other sector. Now even the previous administration came in and concentrated on agriculture. But were we sincere to pursue that agriculture? If we have pursued agriculture to where we are, probably we would have been far better than where we are, but we're able to start producing what we can consume in ourselves. Right. So that's one
and that will lead me to my next question, Senator. That will lead me to my next question, because it's been more than a year since the president directed states to increase local food production. I remember the president tasking them on supporting local farmers. I mean, we continue to say the federal government cannot do it all. So how would you evaluate the complementary roles of state governors in the last 2 years?
I think that is where we should be asking the question we should be asking the state governors. Because if you looked at even the proceeds from the federation account down to the local and state, it has increased tremendously by over 50%. So people now should start asking their state governors, what are they doing? That's number one. Number two, the last year, I strongly believe that over 1 million bags of fertilizers were distributed. Now, if federal government is taking its own responsibility, there are 3 tiers of government. What happens to the other 2 tiers of government? Because they collect from the same purse, from the federal to the state to the local government. So Nigerians should start asking their state governors, what are you doing with the proceeds collected as the Nigerian money? It's our money. But we need to know what that money is being done to. And if you looked at even in terms of palliative, the federal government, when it came in the first time, the federal government gave every state over 5 billion naira to see how they can cushion the high rates of living. So we should, every other person comes to the federal thinking that the federal has to do, even to sink, the federal government is even sinking boreholes in community which is supposed to be the responsibility of local government. So the Nigerians have to ask a question to all their elected personalities. They have a right because they voted the president. They have a right. They voted the National Assembly. They have a right to questions, and they need an answer to the state and to the local government. So if there are 3 tiers of administration, then one of the tiers is doing the best as it can to see that the country is protected, the sovereignty of the country is protected, the people of Nigerians are well taken care of locally and nationally, internationally. Then the state should go away further to now see how they can help in alleviating the standard of the people from the state to the local government.
So what initiatives does the forum propose to support farmers and boost food security in the north?
If you look at the north, mostly all the 19 states are agrarian in nature. So mostly we are like the food basket of this country. Now, one of the key areas where a lot of people are shouting insecurity, insecurity. Now the government now is saying that we're coming out with an armed forestry guard. And some people are saying no. Now the government is giving out fertilizers in the quantums, 1 million bags of fertilizer to people. And some people are saying that no, that is not enough. What has the federal government done? No. What has the state and the local government done? That's one of the questions we should be asking. Now, the government now came in now. This administration now is focusing on another angle where international fundings might come in, or we can generate more revenue from it. Is this issue of the exploration that is going out in the Kolmani River too, that shares the border between Bauchi and Gombe? Government has put a lot of resources there, and the quantum of the oil that is there, at the end of the day, is not that you do it today and get it tomorrow. It's a long-term plan. But the plan has been there way back in the 70s, and now almost 40-something years, we're still talking about one thing. If one has a focus, all we need to do is that, this man has a focus. Let's see how we can help him to direct that focus that will be to the betterment of Nigeria tomorrow. Nobody has ever thought about state government. I'm a beneficiary of Adamawa State when I was in Kaduna Polytechnic, when they were paying even our scholarship. But how many states now pay scholarship? Now the federal government now came out with a student loan where almost about 500,000 Nigerian students can access loan. We talked about even the federal technical school, where the federal government is now saying, look, we have too many youths redundant doing nothing. Let's see how we can sub these children out of the street and let them make an end for their lives.
All right, Senator, finally, before I let you go, what legacy do you hope President Tinubu will leave for the North by the end of his term?
We will pray and crave the indulgence of Mr. President to right the wrong of the northern Nigeria. One, our roads are so bad. Secondly, the educational aspect of it is nothing to write home about. It's just to see how he can collaborate with the 19 state governors to see that education will be given the primary consideration and followed by agriculture, so that at the end of it all, if the northern Nigeria will be given the total attention on agriculture and education, Nigeria will be better for it.
All right, great conversation, Senator, but sadly we have to end it here. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Senator Binta Mercy Garba is the Media and Publicity Secretary of Northern Bridge Builders Forum. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at 12:30 a.m. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke. We're using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News NG. I am Olajumoke Olatunji.